Dirty Dom wins Money in the Bank. John Cena breaks the record. Finally, we get Rock vs. Roman. And CM Punk gets his main event for WrestleMania. So with Raw officially off of cable and the Netflix move just a couple days away, let's take a peek into the future and talk about predictions for this year. We've been waiting for this for a while, and hopefully WWE does not disappoint. First of all, look at this stacked ass card. Punk vs. Seth? That's WrestleMania worthy. Jay vs. Drew? That's gonna be fire. Roman vs. Solo? I love you, Solo. Rhea vs. Liv? Actually, I'm not excited for that one. This Raw on Netflix will be historical. Plus, John Cena's farewell tour officially begins, and the possibility of The Rock also returning. So much madness, but how the heck do you fit it all into just 2 hours? Thing is, you don't. WWE hasn't stated the official runtime of Raw on Netflix, but I think that's because Raw won't have an official runtime. Unlike with cable where you have to fit your show onto a specific time slot, with streaming plus Raw being a live event, they can kind of go for however long they want. Kinda, not really. Let me further elaborate on this. I don't think WWE is gonna do 4 or 5 hour shows like they did with that one WrestleMania, but more like anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. This is how it should have always been. How many times when you're watching Raw or SmackDown too, does it feel like that they don't know what to do or just add filler just to fill up the rest of the time? Or when they don't have enough time and the show just ends abruptly. With Raw on Netflix now, sometimes I think they'll go 2 hours, other nights 2.5, maybe sometimes 3. It all is just gonna depend what they got going on for that night. And I think that's the best way to do it. Raw was 3 hours for the longest time ever. Then people started complaining that it was too long. So they switched to 2 hours. But people were complaining now that it was too short. Best way to do it is just like how every other sport does it. Some NBA games go full regulation. But if the game is good and close, then we need OT. Do you get the point? Do you see what I'm trying to say? So with the first episode of Raw on Netflix, I'm gonna say they go 3 hours. But then like the following episode, maybe they only go 2.5. Not every episode is gonna be Punk vs. Seth worthy type matches. Speaking of Punk vs. Seth, I think that's gonna be the first match. I think the show is gonna go a little bit like this. John Cena starts off the show. We then transition into Seth vs. Punk, maybe a Logan Paul return or something like that. Then Rhea vs. Liv, and Jay vs. Drew, with the main event being Roman vs. Solo. There's just no way I don't see Roman main eventing. He always has the main event. If he's on the card, he has the main event. Followed by The Rock returning to end the show. Similar to what he did at like Bad Blood. There's just so much hype and I just don't know if it's all gonna live up to it. Rock returning might just be a little too much, but fingers crossed. So now let's talk winners and losers. Punk vs. Seth, it's close. CM Punk is my favorite wrestler all time, but I'm gonna go Seth freaking Rollins, man. I despise Seth, but I don't think these two will just have one match. It could be similar to the Punk and Drew feud being a trilogy. Seth wins Raw on Netflix, Punk wins the rematch at like the Royal Rumble, and then WrestleMania is the last one, where CM Punk would win as night one's main event. Jay vs. Drew, I'm gonna go Drew. I think Drew McIntyre is gonna have a Super Cena year. He's gonna go through everybody, including Roman. Rhea vs. Liv is weird to me, cause like this feud should have ended already. I thought it was over at SummerSlam. Liv beat Rhea, she got Dirty Dom, but then we had the tag match at Bash in Berlin, which wasn't that bad. Then the Shark Cage match at Bad Blood. All great matches. I loved them, but then they kept it going. Rhea got injured, but then she came back like the next week just to have the War Games match, which wasn't that good. So if this is the end of this feud, then I think Rhea has to win. She's been chasing this title since July, and if she loses, then it would have meant nothing. She loses hella stock, which I don't think she would have been losing if they had just decided to end this months ago. So Rhea's in a do or die position. But if they want to carry out the feud till Mania, then I think Liv retains. Maybe Dom interferes or something, I don't know. Honestly, I would like for Liv to win clean. Just end this feud already, man. At this point, I don't care who wins. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm gonna go Rhea Ripley as the last woman standing. Finally, the big one. The tribal combat. The battle for the Ulafa. Roman Reigns versus Solo. I love you, Sokoa. This is a no-brainer. And no way, no chance in hell they make Roman lose. Roman Reigns comes out on top, declares himself as the true tribal chief, head of the table. Then if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Rock comes out, they do a little stare down. Rock looks a little disappointed in Roman, a little confused. Don't forget about Rock versus Cody. Rock already doubts Roman a little since he lost to Cody at Mania. And remember, Rock did pin Cody in the tag match at night one. So Rock's gonna be like, why the heck are you declaring yourself as tribal chief when you couldn't even beat Cody, who I pinned to win us the match? And this is how Cody would get involved, resulting in Rock versus Cody at like the Rumble or something. This time Cody would win by interference of Roman in the bloodline. And so this would be the setup for the match at Mania in Las Vegas. And as for who I got winning, I'm Team Roman. But who knows if The Rock is actually returning? The setup is there. If and when The Rock returns, it will make sense. Unlike the mess last year. Gut feeling, if I think The Rock actually returns, hell yeah. Rock's gotta finish his story. I also want to talk about if I think John Cena is going to actually break the record. If there's anyone that's going to break this record, it has to be John Cena. I don't think it's going to be easy though. Everyone thinks he's just going to flip a switch and go Super Cena mode. But I think John's going to struggle at the beginning of his farewell tour. He's going to lose his first couple matches. Everyone's going to call him old. He's washed. He should just retire right now. Everyone will start doubting Cena. And just then will he finally win the big one in defeating Gunther for the world title. Somehow, some way, he will come out on top. Just barely. He might even need some help from a couple friends. This would definitely have to happen at WrestleMania. Cena holds the title for a little bit, but then Dirty Dom, El Sucio, wins Money in the Bank. And he cashes in on John Cena. And is successful. Sucio. So yeah. Those are my predictions for Raw on Netflix and a little bit of what I think is going to happen in 2025. I'll make more prediction videos as time goes. Things happen, things change. Just keep in mind, I'm making this before Raw on Netflix is even out yet. So this video could easily age like milk. Sucio.